Welcome back. I'm Sam Hedden, and we are here with a very special guest at Crypticon, and her name is GWEN RUHOFF. She is a writer, a director, an actress, and I'm very excited to get to talk to you. I know that you've been very involved in Crypticon and getting it to work out, and I'm very excited to hear more about what you're doing, some of the things going on, and just your work in general. So, want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Fantastic, yes. So, today we're filming at Crypticon. Crypticon is the #1 horror sci-fi fantasy convention in Minnesota. And I have been fortunate enough to be the film coordinator for the last 2 years.
Wow.
So I do the scheduling, I reach out to the filmmakers, pull them in, say, hey, this is where you want to network, this is where you want to show your stuff. And if you're in that genre of the horror, sci-fi, fantasy, this is where you want to be.
Right.
This is where the people are. And it's been going fantastically. I've been going to Crypticon myself for several years.
Wow.
And through a mutual friend who does the music here, introduced me to Nick, who runs the whole shebang. And yeah, so it's been just a thrill, exciting.
Did you get a lot of good films? Are they short films, feature films? Do you take every type of film, or?
We take every type of film. We're not a film festival. We are part of a convention. So basically here, you pay, you play. We're not gonna say, unless it's like something that's like horror. I mean, it's horror, so I'm not saying we can't have a little risque stuff. But if it seems something that would be
Concerning.
yes,
Okay.
then we wouldn't accept that. I haven't had that problem yet. But no, we play feature films, indie films, we play short films, we play trailers. You can put your trailer out if you have a film that you're creating and you just want to get out there, and if you have like a GoFundMe or something like that going on, you want your trailer out there so people go, hey, I want to invest in that and be part of that. Put your trailer in here, and that will help publicity for your film or
Right.
for yourself.
So obviously you're big into films. That's
Yes.
obviously your thing, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about some of the film work you do outside of Crypticon.
My first film that I had created, I wrote, produced, directed, and starred in was called The Journey. And it is about a woman who is battling cancer and the relationship with her husband and the struggle that they go and they take this journey together. And I dedicated it for my mother. She had lung cancer, but I felt like breast cancer was something that's easier to portray and the audience can relate to more. So I used to take my mother to her radiation treatments, and I would sit with the other family members and friends and loved ones, waiting while their families, going through this traumatic, medical procedure. And I looked around and I thought, there should be a story that shows this side of it too. Not just, we have a lot of stories and they're always, based around the person who has cancer. I didn't want cancer to be the main feature, the main character of the story. So I feel it's a lovely little film, and I did it for Z-Fest, which is a local Minnesota film festival. And we didn't win, but it was my first film, and I was pleased that we were nominated for Best Heroine that year. So, but it's a beautiful film. I'd love people to check it out.
Well, we'd love to see it, so hopefully that'll be around more.
Yes. There's a Facebook page for it, and and if you look me up on YouTube, GWEN RUHOFF, it's in my playlist. It's on my page, my YouTube page, and so if anybody wants to check me out, I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow me and say hi.
So what's happened since then? So that was your first one.
That was my first one. Then I made I said, oh my God, it took so much out of me. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Well, like a year later, I did another one, and it was a horror one. And that just kind of led me down this path of fun horror. And I do a lot of zombie work. I don't know.
I have seen some of your makeup and
Yeah.
on Facebook, and you definitely have the zombie thing going.
You're
It
right.
goes well. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't something that I planned on being like in the horror
Right.
genre, but I'm there and I'm loving it.
Speaking of makeup, I did hear you did win an award the other day.
Yes. Well, last night I won Best Female Horror Costume Contest.
Now, it's an
So-
interesting story. So, who did your makeup? Like, I have to hear about this.
I have a friend who is a professional special effects artist. His name is Matt Getch. He's local. And we did about 2.5 hours worth of makeup. I was based on Angelique from Hellraiser.
Wow.
And so we had like my skin being pulled and my skull cracked open. It was pretty awesome. I loved it. And we had people walking around following, asking for pictures, and that was, I'm gonna admit, I kind of like people asking for my pictures. You don't dress up to want to be ignored.
I have to ask, how well did it go taking that off? Because I did see it yesterday, and that had to have been an adventure all by itself.
I actually started not feeling well towards the end of the night because I
Okay.
started getting hot because you have a skull cap on.
Right.
So you're keeping all your body heat in.
Right.
And we had a lot of people around, and so we went and took it off. First thing I did was I took my boots off and stuff, was trying to cool me down. But when people are watching movies and they're looking at these people in head to toe makeup, they don't realize some of these people are sitting there from 2 to 8 hours to get like that. Plus, they're going to get hot. They're not going to, they're going through all these, and they'll watch them on the screen and they'll be like, oh, I could do that. It's like, it's a little bit harder than just whipping on a little makeup and getting out the door. But it was a lot of fun. He came in, and I think it only took him like a half an hour to maybe 45 minutes. But he slowly peeled everything, and he used the proper tools and the proper ointments or whatever to take it off. And so it took a little bit of time, but it all worth it.
I have to ask you. So, loaded question here. What is your favorite horror film?
No. You cannot ask
I
a woman
totally
that.
can ask. I know.
You can ask. I choose not to reply.
Ooh,
I have.
because you want to come back next year.
Well, I want to be in all those franchises, so how can I pick one?
That's a good answer. I can completely see that. I've been
Yeah.
on set with you before, and I've seen some of your zombie makeup. Woo! That stuff is insane. So
Yeah.
you ending up in a horror film, I can definitely see that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any advice or anything that you want to leave the audience with, or is there any new adventures that you're planning on taking?
I have a role. I just got a supporting role in a feature film called The Hunter, and we're going to start
That's right.
next month on that. Kind of talking and negotiating about me doing a little behind the scenes as well. My advice to actors, actresses, anybody in the entertainment field or want to become or be part of it is just don't give up, because you're going to get a lot of people that they're gonna you can easily get your heart broken. You can easily decide to give up, because you're gonna go to this audition and this audition and this audition, and you might get one of them. It doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with your technique or who you are. It's you just weren't what they wanted for that particular role. And it's hard not to take that internally sometimes. Just know it's not you, it's the role. And keep going, move on, do your next audition, because that might be the one that you were waiting for. That's the one that suits you, and that's who you were meant to be. I love when I go on Twitter or I go on any kind of social media or something, and I read about some of these famous actresses and the roles that they had tried out for and didn't get. And I'm like, well, dang, I don't feel so bad, because she's fantastic and she didn't get that role.
Right.
It's because it wasn't meant for her.
Right.
she's fantastic because we know her in this particular role. So don't give up. That's my best advice. And don't be afraid to jump in late, because I raised my son, and that's when I jumped back in, because I acted in high school and college. I actually had a theater scholarship.
Nice.
But then I took time off to raise my son, because that was my priorities. And then when he moved out and he could take care of himself, then I was like, all right, I'm going to do my thing again. I have that time. I'm not going to the swim meet and the karate meet and, that kind of thing. And so that's what I did. I jumped in my 40s, and and it's working out very well. So don't be afraid.
It's the pilot for your new series, Hollywood Soccer Mom.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, it's been awesome. Personally, I love you to pieces, and I'm really glad I got to interview you.
Yes, this was fun.
I'm really excited about that, and hopefully we can get you back on there, and maybe we'll even get that makeup put.
Yes, the
on
demo
yes, that would be amazing.
We're planning on.
That would be great. I hope I
Yeah.
get to see it and see the process, and that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you very much,
Yes,
Gwen.
it was a pleasure.
You're beautiful all around.
You too. Thank you.
We had this chance to talk with Gwen Ruhoff. Thank you, and we will see you guys next time